Good evening, I'm Josh Krupp. As we come on the air tonight, that breaking news, a tragedy for the law enforcement community in Henry County. A Napoleon police officer died by suicide tonight while on duty. That's according to the city's police chief. We're told around 6:30 p.m. officers went to check on that officer who was on patrol at the time. The chief says they found him dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. This is along East Riverview Avenue. It was closed while authorities conducted their investigation. The police chief tonight asking for privacy for his department and that officer's family.
My department would ask that the public and the remainder of the press please give the family and my department space to deal with this scenario and this situation in this very, very difficult time. We have a lot of things to do and the investigation continues, and I would appreciate it if we were given that time and space to handle these things.
The officer hasn't been identified. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available 24/7 at the National Suicide Crisis Lifeline by texting or calling 988.
How's it going, everyone? Got some sad news today we're going to discuss. It is sad, and for me to take that stance might be surprising to some people. But it's all about the facts. Okay, we got sad news coming out of Napoleon, Ohio, and Napoleon's where I grew up, right? Still got some family and many friends over there. And, it's only about $15 in gas that way, but about $10 in gas that way, but we can't make it over there to get over there to the police department and demand answers. Now, we're planning eventually to get over to Napoleon, Henry County area, other areas too, but that's one of the areas we've been planning on getting to, and mostly for my friend and his family, who is he is now passed. So I'll give a shout out to Jay and Euless Sweeney, friends of mine. This kind of news is sure to hit a little bit home with them, because the truth is we got corruption coming out of Napoleon just as bad as around here in Defiance. Like I said, it's all these surrounding areas in Northwest Ohio. Well, okay, let me break it out there. What we got, and you gotta watch what you say here because of censorship and stuff, but over in Napoleon, sad news, officer down, right? Officer lost his life, and it's self-inflicted. The officer took himself out. Now, I'm not here to disrespect, I have, as we all know, I have no tolerance or respect for most of the police force, most of the government, and that's their own damn fault. Anyone that's been paying attention will understand. And chances are many of you watching have some kind of incidents with corruption, right? Especially around here. You ain't living around this area unless you're choosing to willfully be blind or you're related to the people. You're dealing with corruption. Guarantee it. And it don't even necessarily have to be police. It's all public servants, right? Napoleon, like I said, I grew up over here, a little tiny town. And the truth is, the smaller towns are probably the worst in corruption. Whether we, maybe not on as large of a scale as the big cities, right? But still, bad corruption. Especially, the thing is, the smaller communities will do everything to cover it up, to make sure that the word don't get out. The bigger communities, that word gets out because you got too much going on. So, first of all, my thing is, I've already taken a minute, and I'm going to ask all my viewers to take a minute to pray for this officer's soul, right? I don't have a name for you, and we're going to get down to that, to the hassle of that. So this video is going to turn out a little different than it originally was going to be. I report on public servants, try to make that clear to the where I try to get the answers. That's what I do. And because, like it or not, it was a public servant, that means the public has a right to know. This man, Henry County, this man was an employee of you, right? He is employed by you, not the police chief, not the mayor, you. The mayor and the chief, they're the ones that decide, do the hiring process, right? But you are the employer, you, the taxpayer. Let's be clear about that, okay? So when I'm asking for information to get to the bottom of this so we can report on it respectfully and let people know what's going on, it's not out of disrespect, and it's not to shame or cause problems on the family. But let's be clear. It is a public servant, and the public has a right to know immediately, right? What's going on in Napoleon? Because it seems to be that these cases, I can't say the proper word, but these cases of people offing themselves seems to be a high amount in Henry County. Henry County is not that freaking big with the numbers of people compared to a lot of these other areas, right? But this seems to be the case in Henry County. Now, as I said, I give a shout out to my friend Jay Sweeney. He's working hard. Him and his sister and their family, they're working hard for my friend Oscar Sweeney. Rest his soul. Oscar, rest your soul. A good friend of mine, a good dude. Where's the justice for this guy, right? He wasn't a cop, right? But he got over in Henry County. Now, this has been a while now. And my thing is, Jay, if you're watching, chime in on here. And we'll get to the heart of it in a minute. But chime in on here and let us know how quickly BCI helped you out. Oh, you're still waiting for that help, ain't you? You're still waiting for the answers of your family member, your brother, sadly, right? Our friend. Most of my friends were also friends with Oscar. Okay? He's a good dude. And we want answers, right? Especially the family wants answers. That's a hard thing to deal with. What you got there? Big old baseball, huh? Softball. Don't you? Let's get that for a minute. Ready? Let me throw it. Let me throw it again. Anyway, let's just get down to the heart of the matter. So far, they're giving no information. Officer took himself out, and there's no information. No name, no nothing. They can tell us for sure that it's self-inflicted, and he's no longer with us, but they cannot tell us the name. They cannot tell us anything, and this is wrong. Now, I want to be clear. I am... I'm saddened by this, and there's no good feeling about it, right? And as I say, I report on public servants and cops and stuff like that, but this is certainly not something that I want to report on, right? I would rather report on business as usual, not that somebody, couldn't handle it no more and took themselves out. Mental health awareness, right? If you haven't caught it, I got a video that's maybe a week or two back where I did, it's called mental health awareness or whatever, right? And it's talking about this issue of people taking themselves out. Not necessarily public servants, right? But at the heart of the matter, when it comes down to it, the only press that's been released so far says, let's keep the family in your thoughts and prayers, and out of respect for all individuals, no information's being released at this time. Maybe in 2 or 3 days we'll have an official report for you. Look, so I went on Facebook, Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon, right? I could give you a shout out, but instead what I'm gonna do is give a shout out to today's award goes to Dumb Bitch of the Day award goes to Crystal, who runs Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon. I seen on there a bunch of posts get taken off what was talking about this issue. Okay, first and foremost, Rob Schaefer posted in Defiance community page about this. Sad news. Officer took himself out, and basically that's all they told us, right? Gave this, but then at the end of it, they want to give you the number, as I said in my one video, right? Call for this help. There's help. There's help. Call these people. There's help. And of course, my question is there? But let's get down to this. First, now it's a little complicated right now because of all the bullshit trying to get the information, I contacted the Napoleon Police Department and asked them for any information that is available, at least the officer's name. She says, what company are you with? I said, Media Defiance. Could we email or fax the report to you? I said, well, send it to my personal email so I'm for sure to get it. And they said they're going to do that, their press release. Well, so far, nothing's been sent to me. And I'm going to check here in a few minutes before finishing this video to see if we can get some kind of information about this. But let's make sure we understand the heart of the issue. So before I go too much further, I want to, we already given out the reward, the Dumb Bitch Award, right? And you've earned it. I've been on that community, Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon, I would say from about the time I was arrested wrongfully by our public servants, right? And the reason is, the first night I went to jail, before I got back here in Defiance and got off the bus, that morning, the next morning, when I should have been released, before I was even released, my mugshot was all over Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon Facebook group, right? Just as many. This woman goes every day and posts all these mugshots out of CCNO. And then everybody gets to laugh and give their smart ass comments and everything else about all these people who are accused of a crime. Accused by officers, right? Accused by public servants. Accused by the government. But nothing's gone to trial yet, and there's no proof of anything. You take someone like me, I get off the bus, the CCNO bus, here when they bring me back to Defiance, I get off the bus, then they hand me my shit back. I get my phone, I grab my phone, and first thing I see on there is a message from my friend Tater. And what it is a copy of my mugshot. And let me know that it's on Nosy Neighbors, right? So, before anything goes to trial, before any facts are known, Crystal from Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon goes ahead and posts my mugshot and goes ahead and lets everybody assume what's reported on that mugshot, right? I'm a woman beater, I'm abusive, I'm violent, and I'm a criminal, according to you guys over on Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon, right? Now, before you say, oh, this is, over there in Napoleon, this ain't worried about me, we're going to get to this issue down a little further, right? but I want to make some of these things clear so you understand my point and where I'm coming from. Because I go on there, then I go on Nosy Neighbors in Napoleon and see that she posted, anything about this will be taken down, you'll be deleted and suspended. Right? Well, obviously you don't understand the concept about being a nosy neighbor. You run this page that called Nosy Neighbors, but what you really mean is nosy myself and a couple of friends. And that's the truth over there in Napoleon. Nosy Neighbors of Napoleon Facebook page. Some woman runs it, has no better life to fucking worry about. And she deletes whatever comments she wants, deletes whatever posts she wants, unless it's something she wants to be nosy about, right? Oh, she wants to be nosy about all these people getting their mugshots in the paper and go and fucking throw it out there. Let's have respect for this person's family. We don't know for sure if they're guilty, right? There's nothing like that. Hey, I'm not gonna let you post these mugshots until we know the truth, right? There's nothing like that. But it comes to this cop offing himself. Now suddenly we gotta respect everybody's feelings. Respect for the family, respect for the fallen officer. Really? I say to you, maybe that officer's story needs to be told, because let's take away the fact that he's an officer. Let's point out the fact that he is a human being. You know, so consider my friend Oscar Sweeney, God rest his soul. It's reported all over Napoleon. The official statement from them is that he took himself out. And sadly, if that's the case, that sucks, right? But we don't know that for sure. His brother, our friend Jay, over there, been working hard trying to get this information. Okay, BCI or anyone else, no one's releasing any of the evidence to be looked over by a private investigator. The little bit of evidence they could find, everything shows up suspicious. However, the early morning that he did that, before the sun could rise, it was all over Facebook and all over the place that he took himself out, and that's what we're gonna go with, right? No one in Nosy Neighbors is saying, hey, help this family find out the facts and the truth, right? And no one jumped on there in the morning and said, hey, before you go posting all this shit, give us a few days to get the facts straight. Respect for the family. No, that family didn't deserve respect, right? Who does deserve respect? This officer's family, which I can only imagine that this Crystal or someone else or several people are related to this guy probably, right? So respect for their family. Look, I'm not here to shame no one or to degrade someone's memory. Nothing like that. I don't know, as I said, we don't know the even officer's name. I don't know if this person was a good person, bad person or not. Good cop, bad cop or not. Right? But as we've seen, there's hardly any good cops. They are beholden to themselves, which will bring us down to what would cause this officer to do this, right? So I have continuously checked my email and they've not sent nothing over so far. We'll see. They probably, once they got my information, probably said, screw this guy. So the thing is, sadly, this screws that up a little bit, because as I said, I got plans to get over there in Napoleon, but I didn't want to make it, I didn't want to warn them. That's how I operate. Like, I show up, right? Around here in Defiance, they don't get no pre-warning so that they can prepare their arguments or statements or anything else. I show up and say, hey, we're the public, we're here for the information. But that ain't happening, right? So, however, I went on Nosy Neighbors, tried to get some information. I made it clear, look, you guys are preventing the information, and because of that, I'm going to have to, I am making a video because this is what I do. I report on public servants, and we would like the basic information so we can figure this out for ourselves. It's one of our public servants, right? And, you know, you could contact me with the facts or I can just move forward with assumptions. That's what you're leaving us, is assumptions. Okay, so you got all the silly idiots on that page who don't want to see, it's until it happens to them, right? But you got some that are in support of what you said, and then all these people, oh, have some respect, oh, this and that, right? It ain't about respect. It's about getting the answers. Answers you're not going to get by waiting around. So anyways, where do you go with that? Okay, the heart of the matter. We have a Napoleon City police officer found dead in his patrol car. And it's a ruled that he did it himself, self-inflicted. And that's all we know. That's all mainstream media knows. That's all anyone knows. That's all that's been released. We're not allowed any of the other information. So that's sad news. And so I just want to take a moment to reflect on that. But out of that, talk about the elephant in the room. So the thing is, Nosy Neighbors of the Napoleon Group, right? Being ran by a major CUNT, and damn right I called you that and you earned it. I don't care. Am I not allowed to say that? Cunt? Because that's the way I see it. Okay, I understand the having respect for family and stuff like that. But I do also have an issue with it. It's even like on the bikers community page. Biker down, you see biker down all the time. Everybody keep your mouth shut. Don't leave no names, right? It's always like that. The only thing you're allowed to say is sorry prayers. Thoughts and prayers. You're not allowed to give any details, right? I kind of have an issue with that. What if, as in the biker situation, what if you're one of those bikers down? Okay? Maybe sometimes your family would find out a lot faster from the people saying it on the page, when it's confirmed. Instead, oh no, you're not allowed to say a word, you never find out. You got to skim through all the news until you find out who it was, what happened. Okay? I don't care what you think. That's social media. You got all this problem. All these people who take part in social media have a problem with how it's supposed to operate, right? It's about nosy fucking people. And that's where all the information is. You know what? And as far as I'm concerned, if one of my family members, something happens to, and I find out sooner through social media because the authorities don't want to alert me in time, then so be it, right? You take the case with this officer. Toledo News wasn't just hanging around in Napoleon 50 miles away, right? No. Okay, they took the time to go down there to get video and interview the police chief or whoever it was that was on the video. I'll show a clip, right? But, so, all through that time, they already made up their mind. The officials made up their mind that this person, who you know the name of, is no longer with us, is deceased. And your go ahead and your conclusion is he did it himself. Maybe, I don't know. Knowing what we know about shit in Napoleon, who knows what the real story is, right? But the fact is, oh, you're not allowed. So I got kicked off of that page because I went on there and said, I don't want to hear none of your nonsense. I'm reporting for the media. Give me some information, the factual information. Otherwise, I'll be forced to go along with the assumptions. Like it or not, I don't give a fuck. Somebody else chimed in there, oh, you're just going to assume then instead of waiting to get the information. This is a public servant. We have the right to know. Okay, when my friend supposedly took his own life, even though there's much reason to doubt it, it was smeared all over the place. Nobody had any respect for the friends and family then, right? Because it wasn't part of their own clique, right? Like this cunt's clique, right? No, there was no right to privacy for me, a private citizen. All these people who she's posting their mugshots are all private people mostly, right? But you post their shit all over the place, and now everyone gets to fucking assume that they're guilty of this crime even though no trial has happened yet. There was no one saying, hey, don't be posting those mugshots and any information about it until we get down to the facts of the matter, right? The facts didn't matter. No, I was smeared all over Facebook with the assumptions about me, even though I was innocent. It don't matter. My life was ruined by these public servants. Point is, this is our employee and we have a right to know, like it or not. Oh, respect for the friends and family. No one's here, no one's trying to give any degrading information or disrespect the loss of life or disrespect the family, okay? Most of us have enough sense for that. And if you don't, sorry, that's the world we live in. Too fucking bad, right? But public servants have no right to privacy. We need to know what's going on. There's a high rate of these people taking themselves out in Napoleon. Is it truly that they are doing it themselves? Or do we have a mass murderer on the loose, a mass killer on the loose over there in Napoleon? Making things look like something that they're not, right? We have reason to believe that. Do we have an issue, something in the water that's causing people to just flip the switch? We need to know these things. We need the heart of the matter. And all I asked for was a name. Then I'll do my own research. But what would be their reason for not wanting to give these names out? For holding on to that information? Well, so we got to consider what caused this to happen. There's only a few scenarios it could be, okay? And for the friends and family of this officer, I'm not trying to, it is what it is. I hate officers, but I don't, wish this upon anyone, that they would feel so bad and hopeless to resort to this, right? On anyone. But here we have society acting like, oh, well, we can believe everything the officials tell us and they have a right to privacy. Our public servants have the right to privacy. Their family has a right to privacy, but not the rest of us who are private citizens, right? This is a problem. But what would have happened? Okay, so we can only speculate right now. There's only a couple of scenarios it probably is, right? One, either your gears aren't turning right, which is a problem, and so your gears aren't turning right, and this happens. Or, here we are in the season, right? Right now is a bad time. Especially when it comes to matters of love and stuff like that. This part of the time, right? Is it a situation with bad love? Right? Now this guy had to, whatever it is. Someone's doing him wrong, someone's, right? And no one's listening. There's always help, but no one listens when you do reach out. And that's the facts. Oh, let's give you some medication. That's all. But how come we need to know that our public servants are of sound mind and good mental health? Because the fact of the matter is, and I'm not trying to assume anything about this officer, but how many times does it happen? Okay, this officer's now not in the right mind and he's out there on the job, on duty. The rest of the force don't give a shit about what's wrong with him mentally. Okay, so what happens? It could have very easily turned into a situation where he snapped around a person when he's doing his job and took somebody else out, right? It very well could have went that way, but it didn't, thankfully. Okay, so, or the final thing is it a matter of this officer, because of the type of job he's doing and the way they are corrupt, he couldn't handle ruining somebody's life, that he fucked up somewhere and couldn't handle it? Those are the only three scenarios I see that are likely in this situation, right? Either that or he had mental problems for a long time and they were just ignored. But the police force don't care about that. The heads of the police force, we are the boss and we refuse to, we got all these idiots. Oh, respect and all this. I want the name. What is the reason for the delay? Why? You already know. Apparently, according to the officials, they already know. Oh, this officer pulled off on the side of the road and in his car and took himself out. That's what we're being told. Do we know that to be truth? we have every reason now to doubt it, right? Was it really that maybe he was a good officer behind, found out some shit and now they took him out? Very well could be. Because like I said, my friend Oscar didn't have a right to privacy when his stuff was posted all over. Who didn't care about how the family felt or anything else. They threw the information right out there. But now it's an officer and we got to be careful. The hell with all you cop suckers. And that's the thing is, the cunt over there on that heads the Nosy Neighbors page, right? She's a cop sucker, right? Because when I found out, I went ahead and joined that group after I found out they posted my mugshot all over the place, and I went on there and commented on it, and I said, we will for sure be also posting the mugshots of public servants who are caught in the wrong, won't we? Oh yes, we're fair here. That's what she responded to me. Not one has been posted, not one from any of this area. Okay, she's just a lying bitch who's probably connected to the police. That's all it is. I don't care. You kick me off your page and everything else for what? Because you can't handle this shit? Too fucking bad. It's a public servant. We have every right to know. There's people, oh, you don't have a right to know. Yes, we do, because it's a public servant. Therefore, we have every right to know. Much more than we do to know about why somebody else, some private citizen was locked up, right? But we're not going to get that information. It's just not happening, right? I will post updates when we do get some of the information. But you can't even ask and everybody gets all butthurt. Well, screw that. People don't understand the power that we have and should be holding on to, right? A matter happened that involved one of our public servants, Therefore, we need to know what's going on, especially when they do have the facts and they're not releasing them. So my point is, why would they wait so long? Well, the thing is, if they gave the name, then any one of us could go and look up his record, right? Is there something on his record that they need to get rid of first, right? We can't give a name. We can't even simply give a name. The family already knows. So why can't we give the name? If it was you or me, we'd be plastered all over by now. That's just the truth. So, so to the friends and family of this officer, I am sorry for your loss, right? If you happen to be watching, please get back with me with some information. I'm not here to shame anybody, right? I'm here to get down to the bottom of what's going on. And because it involves a public servant, we have every right to know, like it or not. And, if you're friends and family with these people, too bad. You got to understand the situation. We want to act like no one else has a right to privacy except the public people, employees, right? This is fucking wrong, and we need to do something about it. And we need to find out what's going on in Henry County. Otherwise, check on your friends and family. Make sure everyone's in good health, mental health, especially now, especially during this time of year, right? You never know what it takes for somebody already down and out to finally snap. And you certainly don't want it to happen at the wrong time, but we also certainly don't want it to see people lose their lives for any reason. But we are going to get down there in Napoleon eventually, and I am going to do a specific video dedicated to my friend Oscar when we find out more about his case. See, I report for the media, and that's what I told them in that group. But they didn't care. They don't, whatever. Well, Crystal, UCUNT, get a life, right? What you mean is a nosy couple, a few females in Napoleon who want to know what they want to know, but no one else is allowed to be nosy, right? Get a fucking clue. But like I said, this is sad news. No matter how much you hate cops, unless they truly deserved it, right? But we got too many cop suckers. Can't blame them for the shit they do wrong, and we will cover up and hide all the shit when it goes bad for them. And you got some people chimed in, you know, oh, well, you know, this ain't about, because I mentioned about the mug shots. This ain't about mug shots. It's far worse than that. This is talking about somebody's life. Well, the point is, you didn't give a shit when my life was destroyed, 100% ruined by these motherfuckers, and you went ahead and posted all this shit that helped form their narrative. But now it's a different story, right? Get a life. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I will get some updates about this situation as they come. But right now, nothing's being told. Nothing, right?
The officer hasn't been identified. The police chief tonight asking for privacy for his department.
But they don't get it either. You know, right here in the city of Defiance, because the people under oath wanted to take their oath for granted and not help me get resolved in my situation. Now, I'm stuck inside the city limits, putting them on the spotlight, right? Napoleon don't get it either. I asked respectfully as a media company for you to send that information so I could get my story done. And you want to piss around? Well, you got nobody to blame for it but yourself. When I show up in Napoleon, raising hell with a camera in your face, and we will get to the bottom of what's going on in Henry County. When I show up, rest assured. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.